Hello, hello. Welcome to Salud Orientation. On behalf of Salud, we welcome you. Let's get started. All right, Section 1, Salud Culture. Who are we and what do we stand for? Okay, first and foremost, we have our core values. Number 1, integrity. We are here to serve, inspire, and educate our Salud family. We appreciate and we acknowledge our diversity. Secondly is communication. We are authentic in our relationships with our Salud family, beginning, middle, and to the very end. Salud employees are committed to assessing workload and always moving diligently. We are very big fans of teamwork here. We work together and we trust the process. And last but not least, we are persevering. We display grit without ego and we always adapt and overcome. Moving right along, we're going into our employee creed. So this just kind of takes our core values and expands them a little bit more. So first and foremost, we are unique. Salud employees are unique individuals that shine past the corporate veil of customer service and add their own flair to how we treat our Salud family. This really sets us apart from other companies. We want you to really be yourself up there. We have a couple uniform regulations, but other than that, we really want you to shine in your uniqueness. Secondly is knowledgeable. We want you to understand our product has a learning curve and we need you to be prepared to answer any questions and you need to be welcoming them with enthusiasm and understanding. We have a very vast array of customers that come in here from every walk of life. So be patient. We have a product that requires a little bit of education, but it's fulfilling when you actually are able to teach people something. Consistency is big too. We acknowledge and appreciate the quality and consistency of our product, making it a top priority to communicate if either quality or consistency is compromised. If you see something, you say something, please. Workload, again, we assess our workload within the first 5 minutes of clocking in, and we understand that the success and production of our shifts affect the entire team. We really need you to be self-aware here. Every minute counts in a small business, and we are always on fire. Teamwork, we promise to set up the following shifts for success, seeing the bigger picture of responsibility and not just the list in front of them. Again, this comes from self-awareness. Look around you. We are a team. Last and definitely not least, and also my personal favorite, is adapt. This is not just going to help you at Salud, okay? This is a lifetime creed that you should promise to yourself. We understand the ever-changing shifts of responsibility day to day and can adapt to whatever is thrown our way with a smile and a positive attitude. Trust me, this is something you will be dealing with for the rest of your life. Adapting and overcoming is so important. Okay, I got a little carried away there. Let's move on. Okay, what is a Salud family member, you ask? You keep seeing this word coming up. Let's break it down. It is two things. It's your staff, so it's your team. We call ourselves family because we treat each other with respect and love. We are humans serving other humans. And then that leads us into the second part of the family, which is customers. So from a new customer to a regular, we're lucky to be in such an accepting city that is a small town feel where everyone knows your name. You're going to learn that super quickly at Salud, that we have so many regulars. I would say 75 to 80% of our clientele is regulars, and you're going to learn their name, their baby's name, where they work, their dog's name, their new dog's name, everything under the sun. Just be ready. It's a really cool family experience here. And then let's go into Salud's level of customer service. So back to that whole family feel, there's a reason why there's a family feel at Salud. There's a reason why when you walk in, you get that really cool, positive energy feel. We're in the business of making someone's day. Like, I know we sell juice, I get that. But at the end of the day, we're really just trying to make people feel good about themselves, about their life. We're really here to make someone's day. Okay, let's talk about entrance and exit. So we are really, really big on a good entrance and a good exit. So every guest is greeted with a loud and welcoming greeting like hi or hey, or if you've seen them a couple times, welcome back. We really want you to get creative with that. Every time I hear it when I'm sitting in the office, it makes my day. And it makes their day too. Like I said, we're in the business of making someone's day. Also, a customer should never ever leave without a loud and excited bye. You can get very creative with this. We've had a couple employees have bye competitions with customers where who can scream it the loudest or who can say bye the farthest down the street. It gets kind of quirky, but it's so much fun. Just really, we're not corporate. We don't want you to be corporate. We want you to have a really open mind with treating your customers like family. Just have fun with it. And then in the in-house experience, so that is something else that we're really, really big on. This is where you're going to be developing relationships with your customers. One of the best ways to do that is ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that require more than a yes or no response. So instead of going to work, yes, that would be the end of the conversation. It could be, what do you do for work? Or do you have any fun plans this weekend? If a holiday's coming up, what are you doing for Christmas? It helps open more of a conversation with your customers. And try talking to your customers like they're your friends. We are humans serving other humans. We are all, on this big ball of earth, just trying to get through life and be happy. So just remember that. And like I said before, that neighborhood feel comes from remembering names and details. Dog's name, job promotions, good luck with that thing you're doing this weekend. That helps so much in the in-house experience for you to develop relationships with your customers. Okay, not to get negative, but I just want to go over a couple things that we're not. Okay, so we're not pushy. We're in the business of providing information and allowing the customers to make a decision based on that knowledge. So we really want to be patient with our customers. Like I said, you're not selling hot dogs, you're not selling hamburgers. You're selling a product that kind of has a learning curve, so just be aware. We don't cut corners. We strive to be the best in quality and presentation. Cutting corners only levels us with our competition, and we cannot have that. We are voted #1 juice bar in Long Beach year after year after year, and it is because we do not cut corners. Like I said before, if you see something, say something. We are in the business of quality and presentation. We are also not complainers. Look, I know sometimes you have to vent. That's totally fine. That is different than complaining. We want your complaints to come with a solution. So if you have a problem, bring it to us. Salud staff members are problem solvers. We acknowledge that we are the masters of our own destiny, and we speak up when we need to. So please, if you have a complaint, bring it to us. You'd be surprised how open we are for it. We are not contrived. We strive to be as genuine as possible with each other and our customers. We can see right through it. Customers can see right through it. And it probably makes you feel anxious always having to put on a face. So be genuine. Be genuinely yourself. The other thing we are not is untidy. The way we handle our working environment is a reflection of our pride in our work. Also, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So just remember that. And then we're also not exclusive. Salud has a zero tolerance policy for hatred. We do not discriminate based on the color of anyone's skin or anybody's sexual orientation. We just will not have it. If you have an issue with an employee or management or anybody at the company, we have so many resources for you to reach out to. So please bring it up. But in terms of hatred or bullying, we will not have it here. Okay, now we're getting into something a little bit more unconventional that you probably won't see in a lot of orientations, but we think it's really important for employees to understand this because any job you have after this, you will find one of these 4 kind of employees, and you also, want to make sure you don't turn into some of these employees. So let's get into the givers and the takers. So as you can see here, we have givers and takers, and agreeable and disagreeable. So let's start top left, Ned Flanders. He is an agreeable giver. So this is the kind of employee that says yes even if they're overwhelmed. They often try to do everything themselves. They're also a little bit uncomfortable with hard talks or confrontations, which is why they usually say yes to everything. They are the backbone of most companies, though. These are the grinders, the workers, the beasts. They are the beasts of every company. They do need protection from burnout and need to know that help is available. If you feel like you're an agreeable giver, that is #1, is you need to understand that help is available. There are resources out there for you. You don't want to turn into an agreeable taker. So Stewie, we got Stewie top right. Stewie also says yes to everything, but he has kept everything in, and he's so uncomfortable with hard talks that he complains about it the whole time, and he becomes constantly resentful to his staff and to the company he's working for. He also leans too hard on his team because he's always exhausted, and he expects special treatment and praise. They're usually forcibly nice to compensate for subpar work. So Agreeable givers can turn into an agreeable taker if they don't start setting boundaries for themselves. So, no, I can't work that sixth shift. No, I can't stay late today. We need you to be honest with us. I mean, within reason, obviously, but the last thing we want is for you to burn out on us and become a Stewie. So please communicate with us when you start feeling overwhelmed. So now let's get into disagreeable givers. So these are usually people in leadership positions. So if you ever want to move into a leadership position, either at Salud or anywhere else, these are the characteristics that you can see in a leader. They ask, what can I do for you? So they're more interested, just like an agreeable giver, in how to help the team. The difference, though, is that they set boundaries and they ask for help when they need it. That is so important. You are not looked down upon because you need help. You are not looked down upon because you set boundaries for yourself. That is how you keep yourself healthy mentally and physically so that you can perform the best you can perform. They also professionally question status quo to bring change and growth. They're open to hard talks and confrontation for the sake of development of themselves and others. These are the employees that I always get like, hey, can I have a meeting with you today? Hey, can we talk after work today? And it's always I've been thinking about it. We do things like this. Maybe have you thought about doing it like this? And, what if we started it at this time instead of this time? I love those conversations. Please bring them up to us. Like I said before, we are a small business. We're still learning and growing, and you are our eyes and ears on the floor, and we've been doing maybe the same thing for years on end, and we don't notice that maybe it could be different, and it's up to you to tell us what can be different. And we can, what I call beta testing. We throw it into beta testing. We try it for a couple weeks. Oh, it didn't work. Or, oh my gosh, how have we lived this whole time without that? So it's fun. We're totally fine with change, hard talks, questioning status quo. Just do it in a professional manner. Call a meeting with a manager or whoever it is. And yeah, be a disagreeable giver. We're totally fine with that. Do not become a disagreeable taker. This is Lord Voldemort. He is openly disgruntled, tends to do bare minimum to get the job done, but expects a lot out of the job. So they're just takers. They're not a team player. They get extremely upset at others' mistakes, yet tend to make a lot of mistakes themselves. There is disagreeable takers. I feel bad for them. I feel like usually with a disagreeable taker, there's something else going on in their life that's making them disgruntled. So just protect yourself. Be good to yourself. Make sure you're not falling in the line of a disagreeable taker. Like I said before, there's always resources. You can always reach out to us if there's anything we can do to help, in terms of your job. We're always here for you. Conversely, if you notice that one of our employees is starting to kind of become a Voldemort, a little bit of a disagreeable taker, you can always let us know. Let us have the opportunity to reach out to that employee to see if there's anything that we can be doing differently to make their experience at Salud a little bit better. Like I said, it's probably not a permanent thing. It's probably a temporary thing that might have a quick fix. They just don't know how to fix it on their own. So always let us know. We're not in the business of getting people in trouble. We really want to be problem solvers. Okay, so now that you understand the different kind of employees that you can become or are or can see, we want to give you some ways to stay a giver, whether it's agreeable or disagreeable. The way that you stay a giver is communication. Ask for help or extra training whenever needed. We are so big on communication. I can't even say it enough. Please communicate with us. It is in your best interest and in our best interest if you communicate with us. Setting boundaries. Again, this is not just Salud. This is your life in general. Be honest with yourself on what you can handle. Say no when you have to say no. Take a break when you have to take a break. Let us know. Keep in communication with us. And then positivity. This is something, like I said, it's not just Salud. It's your everyday life. Expressing gratitude over complaining is so important. It will change your entire perspective of your entire life. You have a choice. You can either water the positive plants or water the negative plants. It's your choice. Okay, this goes into culture, but this is also moving kind of into education of our product. We have a second set of core values, but it's actually an acronym, which is really cool that this actually happened. We were stoked when we figured this out, but it stands for cold pressed, organic, raw, and eco-friendly. So those are our four main components actually for our company. We are cold pressed juice. So that is a two-part system of slowly grinding the produce to a pulp and then putting it under tons of pressure to extract as many nutrients and enzymes as possible. So that is what separates us from, say, a Jamba Juice or even like a pressed juicery. Pressed juicery is not raw. It is cold pressed, which we'll get into. But something like Jamba Juice is not cold pressed. They juice it live right in front of you. It's not very gentle on the product. It kills a lot of enzymes and it oxidizes faster. The other thing is that we're organic. So again, we are a small company, but we're a small company that's also USDA certified organic. That's a huge deal. We are allowed legally now to put organic on our labels. Not all juice companies can do that. We spent a lot of time and a lot of money getting certified for this. So it's really, really important. And people really enjoy coming in and knowing that we are certified, which means that we have had the inspection, they've come in and they've made sure that all of our produce is organic. The next thing is raw. Like I said before with the pressed juicery, so that's another competing juice company. They're also cold pressed, but they're not raw. They have to somehow tamper with their product in order to preserve or pasteurize it in order to sell it wholesale. So we can't sell our juice wholesale because we are raw, which is why we only sell our juice in our locations. So we are truly raw. It goes straight from the press to the bottle without any preservation. Lastly, we're eco-friendly. So all of our produce, after it is ground to a pulp and pressed for all of its juice, all of the pulp is then composted and taken to local farms. So none of our pulp goes to waste. We also use compostable to-go products and 100% recycled to-go containers. We are committed to spending just a little bit more money on stuff that we know will take care of our environment in the long run. So we're really committed to making sure that we are as eco-friendly as we possibly can be and our carbon footprint is as small as possible. Okay, so I hope you learned a lot in the last set of slides. Our Salud culture is so, so, so important to us. It's what makes us so great and so happy and such a welcoming environment. Let's get into the nitty gritty, or the nits grits, as I'd like to say. These are going to be your Salud resources that you will be falling back on if there's ever anything you need. And also, all of these slides are available on our website, and I will show you how to get to that in a bit. Okay, this is a general guide of leadership. So the reason why there are no names on here is just in case it changes. There'll be an updated grid on the website, but just so you can understand the way that the leadership goes here, it's Angela. That's me. I'm the founder. That's my email. If you ever need anything outside of what the management team can help you with, maybe it's about the management team, please always reach out to me. After me is the general manager. So that's the person that reports to both the Salud on 2nd manager and the operations manager at 4th Street. So that's going to be the liaison between the two locations. And they're the direct contact to the director of HR. So the director of HR is for both locations. They are a fully outside party that doesn't have any sort of bias for either locations. That's really important for us because we want to make sure you feel safe and heard. If there's anything happening that you don't agree with, that you have a tiff about, anything like that, you can always reach out to that director of HR in the middle. You will probably be talking to the Salud on 2nd shift lead if you're at 2nd Street, or the kitchen or operations manager at 4th Street. You can also talk to the Salud on 2nd manager, but you'll probably be working more closely with the shift lead, and they can usually help out with anything you need. So you will most likely be talking to the kitchen manager, the operations manager, or the Salud on 2nd manager and the shift lead manager. And if there's nothing that if there's something that you need that they can't help you with, you can reach out to the general manager. And if it's something that you don't think the general manager can help you with, you can reach out to the director of HR. Questions for me personally, the founder of the company, should be something that none of them can help you with. Okay, and then this is the two locations we have. So the 4th Street location is located on 1944 East 4th Street, Unit 5, Long Beach, California, 90802. Phone number is 528-8444. The operating hours there is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then 2nd Street location is 4918 East 2nd Street, Long Beach, California, 90803. Phone number is 439-6000. It is also open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Generally, those are our operating hours. Sometimes they change based on season, but only an hour up or an hour back. Okay, moving right along, we're going into scheduling protocols. So we use an app called When I Work. You should have at this point already received an email inviting you into the app. So you're just going to go ahead and download the app. It is Android and Apple friendly. Add all of your information in it. And the next short video is just going to show you how to navigate the app. Okay, so once you've gotten your email and you accept the invitation to When I Work, then you can download the app onto your phone, and that's going to be the easiest way to check your schedule. So let's go into the app here. Down at the bottom, you'll see dashboard, scheduler, attendance, work chat, and more. Yours might look a little different because I'm a manager, but for the most part, if you hit scheduler, this is what you will see more or less is everyone that works different days. Up on the top, you can see the different days and you can click on them to see those different days. At the very, very top, you can click on August 16th to the 22nd and you can go back, you can go forward, anything you want. So we're just going to stay on the 18th because that's where we're at. Okay, so bottom right is the most important part for me. So go ahead and click more. You're going to go up to profile settings and you're going to click edit. So this is how you're going to edit this. So make sure your first name is right, your last name, your phone number and your email are correct. Your max hours of a week is the most you want us to schedule you for. So let's say your max hours, you max out at 40. You're like, that's how much I am willing to work. But I prefer to really only work 20. So that's, let's say we're short staffed and we need you to work a couple extra shifts. Instead of having to text you and say, hey, are you okay with picking up some extra shifts? We can just look at this and say, oh, so-and-so is actually okay with working 40 if they need to. Okay, so underneath that, privacy, we want to make sure that privacy is grayed. We want your privacy to be turned off so that if any other employee needs to check your information to contact you about a shift, a switch, a cover, whatever, they can see your phone and your email address. So make sure that the email address that's on file is the one that you want them to contact you with. Employee ID, you don't have to worry about that. Positions, you don't have to worry about either because we'll be the ones adding those. I obviously have every single position. Schedules, you won't really have to worry about that either. So we'll go ahead and click save. And then after that, we're going to be looking at availability. So we're going to go into availability. Let's say you have a long-term availability block. So most of the time it's going to be school. It could be another job. It could be, I don't know, you have tea with your grandma every Friday, something like that. But let's add an availability block. So I'm going to go to this plus sign, choose a date. Oh, sorry. We're going to go to the 25th. So like next week. It won't let me do it for this week. I'm going to click add. And then you have a choice between saying I'm unavailable to work or I prefer to work. So let's say you prefer to work the morning shift. So that means that, you know, let's say it's a 6:30 to 2 shift. You can put that in there. So when the scheduling manager looks at that day, they can say, okay, so-and-so wants to work the morning. So I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that that person can work in the morning. But what I'm more interested in is unavailable. So I'm unavailable to work. Let's say you go to school 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Like you can't work. You can just click all day. And then you can click repeats. You can click down here it could be every day, every week, or every 2 weeks. I'm going to click every day. I'm going to click every week. And then I'm going to pick the days that it's available. So let's say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday are my days that I go to school, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I cannot work those days. And let's say that availability ends in October 28th. I know this isn't a season like a school semester, but just for the sake of this example. So now we're going to say it ends October 28th. And in the notes, I say school. Okay, so now we're going to go over how to do time off. So it's going to be the same thing as a recurring availability, except for we're doing blocks of time. So again, let's say in September you're going on a trip. It starts on the 24th. Let's say add. I'm unavailable to work all day. It repeats. It repeats for the whole week, Monday, Friday, Saturday. It ends on that Saturday, and you just click save, and that's pretty much it. You can put on your vacation so your scheduling manager remembers what that is. You cannot put time off requests in unless the manager has approved it. We'll go over that later, but that's how you would do that. Another part of this app that is really helpful is the employees section. So under employees, you should be able to see all of the employees that work at the location that you are working at. Let's click on Elizabeth here so we can see her phone number and her email here and what position she works and where she works. So even if you don't have a list of phone numbers or you're not aware of who can cover your shifts, you can always come into here and see what positions and what schedules people work, so that you can contact them. Okay, so we went over both of these in the video, but now I just want to give the definition of both. So there is a difference between recurring unavailability and time off. Recurring unavailability is any availability that happens more than once, recurring every week for an extended period of time. That is something like a school schedule, another job, maybe it's church, anything that happens every single week that is a recurring thing. We know that it's coming. The other option is the time off request. This is a one-time deal. This is a vacation, previous family obligation, something that is not happening every week. So just to elaborate a little bit more, with the recurring unavailability, it must be inputted by the employee before your first schedule. It can be inputted directly into the app without management approval, and it can be updated for up to 4 months at a time. So this is something that you need to be putting into the app right away. Right when you download the app, put in any school schedule, any other job, anything that you need us to work around, make sure it's there. The time off request, this goes a little bit differently. So the time off request, you will be emailing your schedule manager a minimum of 1 week in advance. In the subject line, you must include the words time off request. In the email, it should include the time off and the dates and the reason. Employees can add time off onto the schedule only after it is approved by the scheduling manager. Time off is first come, first serve, so as soon as you find out what days you need off, contact a manager immediately. We do not, I repeat, we do not take verbal requests for time off or recurring unavailability. There's too many people to schedule. It needs to be written in an email to the scheduling manager. So this is what a typical schedule timeline looks like. For you guys, it starts on Wednesday. The scheduling manager posts a new schedule for the following week using the updated availability shown on When I Work. So she is not contacting each person individually. She is just looking at a blank slate on When I Work and plug and playing. On Thursday and Friday, you can review the schedule and contact the scheduling manager via email if mistakes are made based on your already updated availability. That is extremely important. These are not mistakes that you made on the schedule. This is a mistake that she made, maybe an override. Maybe she scheduled you on a day that you were clearly not available on. If it was a mistake on your part and you forgot to input your unavailability, then it is now your responsibility to get those shifts covered. On Saturday, schedule is closed. The scheduling manager is unavailable and shifts are now your responsibility. And starting every Sunday, it is the start of the new schedule. That is how it goes every single week. It should be pretty easy to follow. It's pretty intuitive. If you have any questions, please ask us, but it tends to run our timeline pretty smoothly. All right, thank you so much for actively participating in our orientation. We want your experience at Salud to be a memorable one as well as a teachable one. Please come into this job with a positive attitude and remember that our main focus is to serve and inspire our customers, making their day better than when they came in. Thanks, everybody.